Welcome to another episode of Podcast the Truth. I'm here to teach you how to teach yourself through basically unlocking sides of truth you probably haven't seen before. That's what we are all about in Podcast the Truth, a vehicle to share truth. Pod as in a vehicle, cast as in to put out, and truth as in all that is consciousness, God, source. Call it as you wish. All that is simply your perspective, perception, and purpose for this experience of a human life that you have. So, in this episode, we'll be diving deep into truths emanating and resonating with you that come from two vehicles of source and consciousness that share truth. So, I hope you get the most out of this episode and that you get the most value and spark the excitement and engagement that you need. So, without further ado, I'm here with, and I'm going to give you a chance to talk about yourself now. Who are you and
Thought
why
you were
would they
gonna,
want to know about you?
yeah, I thought you were gonna say my name, but I give myself the introduction. Who am I? Wow, what a deep question. But
Hey,
for the
that's
fans and for
really
the
interesting.
people who watch your podcast, people who watch me, I hope some of my viewers will cross, uh, what do they call it? Cross watch or whatever, come across to your platform.
Mm.
My name is JD. That's what I like to introduce myself as. JD, very simple. It's my nickname. And me and Santi did speak about nicknames. His name is obviously Santiago, but yeah, I'm a creative. I'm a musician. I like music. I like everything to do with aesthetics, everything to do with philosophy. But I put music at the top of everything and sort of filter everything down. So you got philosophy, you got science, everything that connects the self. We had a conversation, me and Santi, a while back where we really went into depth about just being, consciousness, and our views. We just shared views on what we think the truth is. What are we doing here? Death. A lot of concepts we exchanged, but today we said that we would explore source, truth, and consciousness. That was the three topics he gave me, and yeah, that's basically in a nutshell. I do a lot of my channel is just me going on about how I feel with philosophy and just my different views on spirituality, a lot of those kind of things. There's some music on my channel, not that much. There's an interview, but yeah, Santi's been doing this much longer than me. I think he's more spiritually inclined than me. So yeah, that's
That's the
basically
whole
it, man.
purpose of this path, course, journey that we're going on. As human beings, I truly believe that we're meant to just expand our own consciousness, share it with the rest, and then allow that to create an emanation, a resonance, a frequency, a vibration, a connectivity, a vehicle, a space demonstration, so that we can all harbor and give that space an experience. So it doesn't really matter what your merits are, recognitions, who you are. I love to ask that question specifically because when you ask somebody, who are you, they immediately have to self aware, become conscious of their thoughts, and then they transcend everything and start looking deep into themselves. Because if you think about yourself, who are you? Are you your name, your house, your family, your name, your dog? Who are you? The whole aspect of yourself is the beauty of life itself. Everything is just an extension of you. So, diving into that, what do you think is the best possible extension of yourself that you carry within you that you want to share with the world?
Wow, that's a good question. And my sort of view of extensions of yourself, like if you think of a car, right, or let's say a pod, since we talked about podcasts, but that vehicle, um, it really is an extension of yourself in terms of it gets you to connect with something else, to another place or to an idea. It gives you that connection. So I don't know how you feel about the whole concept of detachment. Buddha was trying to relieve suffering. That's just his entire philosophies
Yeah, the
to relieve
eight
suffering. And
pathway to no suffering.
yes, So how I'd like to view having extensions of myself within this reality is being able to experience that, be fully attached to whether it be music, whether it be family, whether it be a relationship, friends, experiences, my senses, but at the same time have that detachment to know that it's all temporary and appreciate life for the gift that it actually is in the present moment. The extensions of yourself really are just, I would say, methods of expression, self-expression. The soul is ever expanding in this universe, and obviously there are dips, there are troughs, and uh, what do they call it? It's a trough, and they are like high points to the wave of the experience of life that we have. I don't want to get too sciencey and nerdy about it, but yeah. So all those that I mentioned are just ways I'd like to attach myself or attach the self, if you get what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I put music on top because that's a vibration. That is something that stirs me. It'll be here when we leave. It was here when we got here. So there's a very important vibration. I feel I need to get on that wavelength, experience that wavelength again. Because I don't know if you what do you think about past life, Santi? Let's go there. Let's go there.
I feel that there are three things that are coming up to mind right now. For example, the first thing you said was I would like to know more about your troughs. I think you mentioned like the low point in your life. Because in my
Yes.
case, in my own life and extension of myself, I realized that music, as the other thing you mentioned, has always been this escapism way, this beautiful resonance of how I frequently create new things in my life. When I'm in the lowest, darkest, most beautiful paths of my life, where everything seems to be so gloomy that nothing makes sense, music is always that escape, that door, that portal to something else. Now that you mentioned past lives, I don't quite believe in reincarnation, incarnation, and past lives, future lives, and all that because I believe that everything is eternal. Everything is here and now. And it doesn't matter if I'm 18 and you're 19, if he is 23 and they're 26, if they're 56 and they're, I don't know, 97. Age is just a number that you add on to the identity of this experience. And when everything is eternal, those moments that you've mentioned that we've talked about and music has saved us from are just like dust in the wind. It's just a little particle in a longer eternal timeline. Like, just think about your life right now, here and now, and the whole trajectory of what life has been and will be is just, it's like a dust in the wind, literally. So that's what I would talk about based on past lives. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I always like to see things as what I can learn from it because I think life's constantly teaching. It's just whether you are aware of it or not. Sometimes we're so taken in by whether it is emotions, whether it's experiences, thoughts, and what I see past lives as is just like I don't think it goes against your belief of the eternal. For me, it's like the cause and effect type thing, the karma cycle. I feel you could learn a lot from that, and the problems that you address in your course, like self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, I'd like to see those as problems that humans have been facing and will continue to face unless we start the pursuit of truth. Because I'm going in depth here with herd mentality
Yeah.
and how there's always the concept of the few versus the many.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if and it's I don't want this guy's name. Uh, he's also self improvement. I'd say guru, but his name. Come on, you know who I'm speaking about. There's Bob Proctor, and then there's that other guy.
Alan Watts,
No, 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 no. The other guy. Okay,
Mate, Sadhguru,
he's a white guy.
Urabura.
No, Santi, come on. You're gonna get him. You're gonna get him.
not sure.
But he's like, do you know who's Bob Proctor?
Yeah, I do.
Uh,
Napoleon Hill.
Jim, Jim something. Do you know any Jim something? Jim,
Jim Carrey.
no. Okay, he's also awakened, but I need to get this. Jim,
Well,
or else I feel stupid now.
what's the energy that he embodies that you're resonating with right now?
Well, you were speaking about the concept of the few and the 1%, we'd call them, or the top percent of society, and there'll always be the 80%. I don't know the exact numbers, but then he says the top, they're always that dichotomy or that different, what do you call it? That whatever that is, whatever that's happening, the concept or the reality of there being the few and the many will always be there. So the top 1% will always just change faces, and he knows that the ones, the herd that he was part of, they wouldn't want to be bothered. They easily follow, even if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I think you mean that whatever's at the top is always going to be at the top, and whatever's at the bottom will always be at the bottom.
Yes, but they'll just change faces. So he said he was in the same shoes of the people that he was trying to, I essentially reprogram. And he mentioned like how they just couldn't be bothered. Before you knew about this whole consciousness concept, you were in a way subject to your negative patterns or habits, your limiting self beliefs. So, in you breaking away from the herd, because I assume everybody's dealing with this, but they just don't want to be conscious of it. It's a difficult process to break out from that and break away from that perception. And the process I'm in now, which I'm probably rambling on here, Santi, forgive me, but this is cool. The process that I'm in now is that I don't know if you've heard or you've read in the Bible where the Israelites left Egypt and they told Moses and Aaron, like, why you let us out now in the wilderness? It was better in Egypt, Like they wanted to go back, but it was bad in Egypt. Pharaoh had you in slavery. So you
Yes.
were a slave to all that bad about yourself, whatever that. And
Hmm.
now the process of going to the promised land is difficult, but it's necessary. So you're in that in-between phase. So you can just speak about that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and it definitely you explained it in a complex, nuanced, different way, and it's good because that's what it's all about. The different perspectives of the same perception. Everything about the spiritual awakening and realizing God consciousness, source, all that is. It truly is, like you said, you go from being part of the herd to the 1%, you go from being the minority to the majority, sorry, the other way around, from the majority to the minority, and then you realize that either way, both sides of the coin are the same because they both need each other. Like you need dark to be light, and you need light to be dark. You need
Yeah.
both, and you need a counterbalance force in the universe. That's why when you said how once you go into that state of consciousness that you realize you might want to go back because it's comfortable. And even if you want to go back, you'll never go back because going back is an illusion. There is no going back. Like there is no place that you came from. You're here and now, and your states of consciousness are part of who you are being here now. So as you move in life and space and time, whatever that makes sense for you as in a linear way, fashion and form, either way, you're gonna be like your consciousness is evolving because that's the natural process that the universe and the whole galaxy. So in that way, like you said, yeah, you might be awake and then want to go back. It's inevitable that you'll keep awakening. And that's why I always say that success is the other coin, the other side of the coin for failure.
Yeah, that to get away from, that we were talking about waves. They essentially, I don't know, is it Buddhists or people who seek enlightenment? They want to get away from the ups and downs of life, you know, the happy, the sad, success, failure. That is tiring for their energy. Their souls are seeking an escape, a nothingness, a peace, a calm, just a the promised land. They want to seek that enlightenment, for lack of better words. Some people enjoy the up and down of life, but people who are really their souls are tired of this life. The life to them is just suffering. Like they don't see anything beyond it. People like you and me, I think we still have a passion for life. We still want to experience. We still want to, in a way, we still desire, you know? So we still want things. We want experiences. People we want to get the most out of life. So I wouldn't say that we aren't seeking enlightenment, but I'd rather say we want to be on that hero's journey, if that makes sense.
Makes total sense. The hero's journey is part of the human experience. We're all looking to
Yes.
conquer, to achieve, to become, to awaken. It's natural, it's narrative. We need narrative. We need a narrative, and we need the narrative arc in our lives because we're like avatars for consciousness. Like in a movie, you have the actors and you have the actor playing the character in the movie, and then you have the character in the movie. So like there's ways of understanding who you are. And when you tap into the hero's journey, for example, which is a beautiful example of it, you realize that desire is what gives you a sense of trajectory, direction, purpose, alignment, purposeful alignment.
Yeah. What do you think about the seven chakras?
It's the same thing. The seven chakras, the states of consciousness, the emotional spectrum of emotions, light colors, the light spectrum, gamma rays, brain waves, they're all going from very rapid to slower. So from very ecstatic, powerful energy, erratic, chaotic, disorder, chaos, to more peaceful, unitive, inclusive instead of separation. So in the chakras, it's the same thing. Like you go from being in a base, erratic, disorder, kind of chaotic energy to a more peaceful nothingness, omnipresence, omni-beingness, omni-essence. So the quintessence of the chakras for me is just a path that you traverse to become whole in the whole of life, one with the all that is.
That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. Seeing that there's only like a few minutes left of this meeting, I want you really to summarize your summarize your course for me because I feel like that it's a work in progress, but it's very important to your current journey and to your future plan. It's very, very important. So I want you to explain that just more for the people who are going to listen to that. And I really want to do a part two because of the shortness of this, but could you do that for us?
Yeah, of course, we can definitely do a part two. So Know Thyself Journey is a course that you take when you're ready to embark upon a new journey to get to know yourself. Like when you scroll on TikTok, like when you highlight the reel that you put on your stories, like when you dive into a conversation with a friend. It's just a reflection that you are gifting yourself in order to overcome that past barrier that you had that was limiting belief, like that you believe was limiting you in order to start creating what you wish to see. So if you're suffering with self-sabotage, anxiety, overthinking, with I don't know mentality, with I don't know what to do mentality, with I don't feel right mentality, and just overall with those sense of feelings and sensations that make you feel like you're stuck and stagnant and you don't know how to move forward, basically helps you realize that that's exactly where you need to be and that's perfect as it is because it's part of the whole process, progress, and purpose.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks for the chance to have this conversation, Santi. We'll do this once again, probably on my channel this time, on my podcast. Hopefully, I can
I,
have you as a guest.
I talked about myself. I didn't give you a chance to. Where can they find you?
Please go to my channel, Emil Percent. I'm gonna change the name. It has to be JD, but yeah, Emil Percent on YouTube, on all socials, Instagram, Twitter. But I'm mostly on YouTube and Instagram with Santi. But yeah, Thanks for the chance, man.
Yeah, it was definitely an amazing conversation. I loved every second of it, and we'll definitely be jumping into another one. I think the short